Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Longley's Line Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Longley. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, all of those social medias. Stephen Longley for me, Longley's Line for the show, Lightstyle Studio for our studio here. And as you guys know, we bring on guests from all different facets of the entertainment industry, and today is no different. Today I have Grace Winter.
Hello, everyone.
Grace, thank you for being here. Before we get started on anything, go ahead and promote your social medias where you'd like everybody to follow you, anything like that.
So Instagram is grace.wintersxoxo, and then my Snapchat is gracewinters150, and then Facebook is just Grace Winters, I believe, or Grace Winter, but either way, they'll find me.
Okay, it'll pop up.
Yes.
So where are you from originally?
Born and raised in Reno, Nevada.
What part?
So I grew up in Sparks basically my entire life until recently, like when I turned, I think, not really recently, but like 17 or 18, and then I moved to South Reno.
Okay. And so when you were in high school, what high school did you go to?
Reed High School.
Reed?
Yeah, so I only went to Reed for about a year, like half of a freshman year, and then the rest of the time I went to online school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why the online school?
Well,
If you
yeah, I ended up getting suspended in freshman year.
Okay.
And then like after that, I just kind of thought I was like falling in with the bad crowd, so I kind of wanted to just, be by myself. So I like went to online school, got all A's, like excelled. I loved it, and it was just easier. And I think it also, I was a competitive cheerleader back then, so with all of that, it just like created less stress. And I
like
just
the traveling. And
yeah,
everything.
the traveling, and I don't know, school was always my favorite growing up, like elementary and middle school. I loved middle school. That was my favorite school year. But like when I got into high school, I just couldn't seem to like focus. I was just focused on other things. So once I got into online school, it went smoothly.
It was a lot better.
Yeah. So I'm glad
good.
I did that.
And when you're younger, did you know what you wanted to do for a living? Like how everybody does where they're trying to figure things out. Did you have an idea of like, this is what I want to do?
So when I was way young, I wanted to be a teacher. Then I wanted to be a lawyer because I'm really good at like debating. And then like when I was like middle school, I told my friends, I was like, I'm gonna be famous one day. I'm gonna be famous. And everyone's like, Grace, yeah, okay. So I did like YouTube videos. I like tried getting famous off of like TikTok, just things like that. And then when I turned 18, I started taking acting and modeling seriously, like on my own, because my mom couldn't like always drive me or like pay for the like all the things.
Yeah.
So when I turned 18, I started like making an ambition of mine and passion, and then that's when I started. But I always knew I wanted to be in this industry. My mom grew up, so I saw her doing all the things. Like if you go to the GSR, she's like all over the walls, and cool. She's in like the Nugget. Like when you buy a room, like she shows up on like the Nugget TVs. She's done consigned furniture commercials. Wow. Yeah, my mom is a beautiful lady. I love her so much. She's my best friend. So I like kind of grew up in her footsteps, and I saw like I just loved it, and so that's what I wanted to do.
And that's where it started, from seeing your mom kind of doing it. Did you have anything like movies or TV shows or something where you were like, this is kind of what I want to do? Because that's kind of how mine was, where I saw mine was Tommy Boy with Chris Farley.
Okay, yeah.
Me and my dad watched that movie over and over again, and I'm like, he is just the best.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to do something like that. Did you have some like that?
I guess not like too many that stuck like to me. There's a couple actors like Evan Peters. I think in the Jeffrey Dahmer series, even though it's controversial, I think he like there was like a side by side of like Jeffrey Dahmer and Evan Peters, and like he just embodied his breath movements and everything. And like to me, that's just insane. Like to be able to not only be an actor and to make up your own character in your mind, but literally embody someone else like perfect is crazy to me. And then my mom always has been a fan of Audrey Hepburn, so like growing up I would always watch Audrey Hepburn with her, so I love her just because she's a classic, and I love like her acting. Like she's just always fancy, and she holds herself so well, and she also had like very natural beauty. Like she always promoted like just natural beauty, and always, I don't know, not even her as an actor, just her as a person. I loved like her persona that she would put out.
Yeah, I mean you really can't go wrong with idolizing Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of the best.
Yes,
you know? It's like having, Betty White or somebody on your list who's like, are you sure you want them? Yeah, duh. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And then while you're figuring out and you decide you want to do more acting stuff and kind of getting into it, did you land something right away, or was it more just like, we're going to do the acting classes, see what happens, and then I'll go with whatever comes my way? Or were you actively pursuing auditions and things like that? Kind of what happened when you started getting into it?
So I went to a couple classes when I was like 14 with my mom. So I like did it, like I gambled in a little bit of it when I was like younger with my mother, and then kind of just fell out of it, did competitive cheerleading, and then went back into the like started pursuing it by myself with like, you know, me going to classes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to classes I think for like 4 months, and then do you know Mad Wife Productions? So they were doing Final Girl. Have you heard about Final Girl Halloween?
I have. Yes.
Came out. Yes. So I like auditioned for them, and I got one of a supporting role. So I'm like in it through the whole movie.
Nice.
And that's kind of where it like started, because then I met like crew, and then after that I just started getting booked and booked and booked and booked. And I'll go to like events where, you know, you do like socializing. What's the word?
Networking.
Yes. You go and do networking, and then that's where I meet some other people.
Yeah.
And I also do a lot of free work, because I think that a lot of times it's like about who you know too and connections. So I do like extras, free work, paid work, all of it, just to get in the door and like meet new people, see, like you never know what's going to happen when you go on set.
Yeah.
So
we've had Andrew on the show, and he kind of came in and talked, because I've worked with Mad Wife a few different times too. Like we did one of their shorts, Tree of Mine. I was the dad in that.
Okay.
Which is funny because it is a really good piece. It's very sad and touching, and you know, there's like you have to cry in certain points, which was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I like doing the emotional parts of things, and it was funny because it's me and the gal who played my wife. She's been my wife in like 3 different things. So every time we get cast in something and she's there, it's like, oh, we're husband and wife again.
Right.
And then our son was this blonde-haired Alex.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Nikki's
So
son.
he was our son. And it was like, she's got red hair, I've got dark hair, and then Alex is a blonde. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
You know, just movie
they don't
magic.
Know the backstory.
Yeah, it was like, we don't know
family.
where he's from. It's fine. But with their production, the way that they do things is a lot of fun.
Yes.
It makes you feel very comfortable.
Yeah, so I actually went to one of Andrew's teachings. He does like these teachings once a year where he teaches, and this one I was like a brand new actor. I didn't know like any of the words, like blocking or cheat to the right, cheat to the left. I didn't know anything. Yeah. And he just made me feel super comfortable, like you know, like sometimes I won't ask questions because I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm an unexperienced actor, but he like made me feel comfortable enough to ask. And then when I was on set, it was really fun. Like I think for my first time being ever on set, I'm so glad it was with Mad Wife, because they make it so comfortable, and everyone there is super nice, and like if I have any questions, they answer it, and it's just like it's just fun the entire time. Yeah. So I love working with Mad Wife. They're my favorite. They were one of my favorite production teams. So.
While you were on set and learning things, what's kind of the biggest thing that you learned from being on set? Because there's stuff that whenever I watch movies or you know, watch TV shows or something, I always kind of see little things that are happening that I'm like, ooh, this actor is doing this monologue all in one take.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, you can see how they're facing the camera. It's right here, and what was one of the biggest things you learned that kind of shocked you while you were on set? Not shocked, but where you're like, huh.
I guess that like, let me think, probably like 2 seconds of dialogue, like you have one line, I have one line, will take like 15 or 20 minutes to shoot, because they have to do so many angles, which I never really actually thought about that for some reason. I also, let me think, I'm trying to think. Also setups, like how they can make different, like one room could be completely different scenes and we just make it all look different, how the camera could make one room look like 20 different settings, which is pretty cool. I never knew that either. Yeah. And then, I think that's it.
That's one of the things that I think about too. When you see a scene, and as you're watching it, you see cut, and you're like, well, they had to do this scene 20 different times because it was on me, then it was on you, then it was on them, and then it just keeps going back and forth the entire time. And that's a fun one that you never think about while you're watching TV. You're like, this is cool. I like this. Yeah. And then once you're in it, then you know it a lot better. Yeah. And then after you do the first one with Mad Wives, what do you do after that?
So I was just starting off with acting, and then I'm trying to think. I did Mad Wife. I got booked a couple more jobs. Mad Wife. I'm working on a project with them right now too. And then I'm trying to think. I just got done with like a CPR awareness video. Okay. Yeah, that I did that for. I've done so many things. I'm trying to think. Like in the past week, I do UNR simulations at TMCC. I don't know if you've heard about those.
I haven't. No.
They're for students who are trying to get their their CPS degree to like help children and be in child protective services. So
I have to like social worker.
Yeah, social worker. Yeah, so I have to memorize like a character, and like she's gone through all this trauma and stuff, and then the social worker tries to come and takes the kid, and they have to do all their job, and I'm just like acting it out and like being like, no, you're not gonna take my kid, like all that stuff to give them all of that. And then for modeling, I've actually done quite a lot of modeling. I've done Travel Nevada campaigns that I just did with 3 Sticks.
Nice.
I was just in a music video. I've done like runway stuff. I did a GSR Wedding Expo runway.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I just Idols and Icons where I acted and did runway for that. And then just promotional photo shoots. And then I went to LA for the iPop and I got signed down there. So
great.
Yeah, so hopefully eventually I start to grow and get some jobs down in LA. But so far in Reno, like business is booming. Like it is doing so well. I've like the past 4 months, I pretty much get booked for a new job every week. So
that's
like,
great.
Yeah, I feel like I'm growing, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what you hope for.
Yeah.
To constantly be busy. Sometimes, like from mine on another stance is because I have a full-time job and things happen. I can't always do everything.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as something comes up, I try to jump on the chance.
Yeah.
Whenever I can. What's been kind of your favorite one that you've done so far? Or if you have any kind of like behind-the-scenes stories of stuff that is.
Let's see.
happened.
I really love Final Girl. I think it was because it was my first movie ever, and it was just exciting and fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Travel Nevada that I just got done with was really fun too. Like we got to see the sunset. We were like in this little nice area, and I'm trying to think of like BTS little stories that I have, but I can't think of anything.
I know it's hard to come up with it right on the right off the top of your head.
If I think of any, I'll come back to you.
Cool. I'm okay with
Okay.
Because I've had ones where it's like I've been just like a PA on set. Have you ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No.
That's an old 90s movie.
Okay.
So the dad that was in that, he was the lead in there. And I got to sit and kind of BS with him and hang out. And he was one of the main leads of the movie. Really nice to me. We were talking and, just having a good time. And then everyone's like, he was a little bit of a prima donna. And I was like, he was nice to me. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I guess some people have... Like, some people probably have different opinions about other people. But so far, I've had only nice experiences on set. Everyone here is super nice. Like, like if I was stressed out or like, oh, I need help with lines, everyone's just so accommodating and nice here. I'm like, okay, cool. I hope this is how LA is.
Yeah.
Like, prepare me for LA. Someone be mean to me. Make me cry on set so when I go down to LA, I'll know.
Yeah, tell me I'm not real.
Yeah. Tell me I can't make it.
Help. I get that completely.
Yeah.
But what is your kind of long run when it comes to the acting career? Because, you kind of said you want to be famous with YouTube and things like that.
Yeah. That's not really my goal anymore, but yeah.
Right. When you're starting out and then you realize everything that comes into it, things kind of change. When, like for mine personally, it's for my acting career, I don't care to be like Brad Pitt or Leonardo, like one of these huge leading men or something. It's like, I like those ones like, where they're a character actor and every time they come into something, you're like, oh shit.
Yes.
Look at that guy.
Yes.
He's on the show. And it's one of where they're constantly working.
Right. Okay, that's pretty much my goal too.
Same thing.
Just basically for acting and modeling my full-time job. So not have another income, just that. So it doesn't, like, even if I get fame out of it or if I don't, just that's being my only job. Because right now I work at Grateful Gardens as an expo.
Oh, okay.
Which I love, and they're super accommodating to my schedule. But I always want to put like acting first above anything else. So, like whenever Justine texts me if she has a job, even if I work, I immediately put my shift up, and they're super accommodating. People could like pick up your shifts and stuff, which I love. Cause so eventually I want to just basically get all my money through acting and modeling and not have to work, a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Make that the career. Because I think about it too, where it's like I had a friend on here and we went on like a 15-minute tangent about Disneyland, and it's like there are those TV shows where they go to Disneyland for the day to film.
Yeah.
Like, if I could get a show and hang out at Disneyland all day, I've made it.
My dream movie to be in is like a rom-com or romantic movie. That's like one genre that I just would like love, like, or like Outer Banks, like something like that, like I don't know, that's just something that I want to be in so bad.
Like a Hallmark type movie?
Yeah, kind of, or like The Notebook.
Okay.
Like something like that, or like Adam and Sandler and Jennifer Aniston when they do all those funny movies, something like that.
Yeah.
And then.
Do you have a certain genre that you said kind of the rom-com? Do you have one that you want to do that you think that might be a challenge for you? You know, it's like some people can do comedy, and then if they want to go into drama, then it's kind of tougher, or vice versa.
Right. Yeah. So, I feel like I'm pretty good at drama, and I'm pretty good at comedy as well. I mean, I think personally.
Right.
But I also don't want to get stuck in a genre where it's like Adam Sandler. Like if he were to go in a dramatic movie, they'd be like, "What are you doing in here?" You know?
Yeah. Which he's actually branched out a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah. They like Uncut Gems and Hustle.
And he's like dramatic in it. Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Okay. And no one has been like. Well, he's a fantastic actor either way.
Initially,
so he
people were like, "Okay, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Or I don't know if you've seen it, The Longest Yard. That one's like a remake of an old football movie, and he was the lead in there where he wasn't his goofy normal self. It was more serious, but it was funny,
right,
in certain senses. But he played more up to like the dramatic part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I'll have to watch some of his dramatic ones so I can see.
Don't worry, I'll send you a list.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Because I know there's so many different like movies where I see people where they've played comedy and then they go into the like Jim Carrey. He's a big one.
Yes, okay.
You know?
Jim Carrey has played dramatic, comedic. He also played, what's the big monster with the green face?
Grinch.
Yeah, he played the Grinch, but what's the other one where his like mouth opens all the way wide? Oh, I can't remember. His whole face is painted green and then like his mouth opens and he sings in it. I'll never know. I'll never think of the name.
Oh, no, I'm stuck.
I know someone will comment it underneath.
I'm stuck on Grinch now. Like, but he doesn't sing in the Grinch.
He has like a hat, like this white hat that he wears, and I don't know. It blew up on TikTok.
Oh, I'm so stuck now because I can see it too.
Oh. I can't even remember the name.
One of his. Have you ever seen 23?
No.
That's a dramatic role that he plays, where my wife likes to say the number 42 is like the universe, like the universal number. It's the answer to everything.
Yeah.
So when you see something, you'll see the number 42. It'll just pop up, and she's like, boom, answer to the universe and everything.
That's awesome.
And she'll say it every time.
Yeah.
So in the movie 23, Jim Carrey is constantly singing the number 23.
Oh.
And he's like, it doesn't make any sense why you guys are freaking out.
Yeah.
It's just a number. And then as he's going through his day, he's like, I see the number 23 again. And it's very dramatic, and he kind of goes a little crazy about it. It's an awesome movie.
I'll have to watch it. 23?
23.
Okay, I'll remember it.
It's a good one.
It's easy.
You said you had some questions for me.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what is your, like, goal? Or you already told me your goal, but what am I trying to say right now? Sorry. For acting, do you do acting, or do you do more stuff? How did you get into the podcast stuff? Those are my couple questions.
So the acting thing is, I've always liked being in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. So when I was younger, if a camera comes out, I'm dancing or doing something in front of it. Or like high school, if somebody had a project, I'd always be there.
Okay.
And getting into it. So one of the stories is I moved to Montana. Mm-hmm. It didn't work out. Moved back. And
moved to Montana for what?
Well, because it was, I think I was 21 or 22 at the time. And we just wanted to find different jobs because we had a buddy that lived there, and me and a few friends decided, we'll move up to Montana. Mm-hmm. He's got jobs. It's a change of pace, change of scenery. We'll go up there and do something different. It ended up not working out. We were technically homeless for like 3 days.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a huge ordeal. So we ended up coming back.
After the 3 days?
Well, it was more of like a month.
Oh, okay,
so we considered it like a month vacation in Montana because I saw family in Elko, saw family in Idaho, went up to Montana. We're there for like 2 weeks or something like that, and it ended up not working out. So then we just traveled back and saw everybody again. So we were there for like a month.
Right.
And it was more just a vacation. So by the time we got back, I was like, what do I want to do? And I was like, I like acting. Mm-hmm. I like being in front of the camera. Let me see if I can pursue something here, which is something I've never done. So I found True Talent as well. Mm-hmm. And a couple of the photographer friends that I had, they were like, we don't have a lot of guys that want to get in front of the camera. You should try and reach out to photographers to see if they need men to do it. So I would reach out and be like, hey, if you ever need a male to do a shoot or something, let me know and we can set something up. So that kind of paved the groundwork for everything. And then I started meeting other photographers, started doing some modeling. Like I've worked, for Legends and done all kinds of different stuff. And then while doing that, also getting into acting more and more when I could. I've done a couple of commercials, short films. I was extra in Fast 7.
Oh, nice.
So that was cool. Got to meet Vin Diesel briefly.
Was that in L.A.? Or here?
It was like right outside of L.A.
Okay.
It was Lancaster.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like an hour or two outside of L.A.
That's
so
awesome.
We got to do that. And that was fun. So I got to do that. Then just auditioned as much as I could. Mm-hmm. Went to Sacramento or San Francisco. If something would come up, I'd just drive over the hill.
That's awesome.
And see what I could do. I had one where I was doing a security video. Mm-hmm. So it was for, some security company.
Right.
The day of, they gave me the script.
Oh.
And it was paragraphs.
Really?
That they were like, okay, read this and we'll see what happens.
Oh, like when you got there?
When I got there. The day of.
Oh, so it was a cold read. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, how did you do?
I did fine.
Okay, good.
But it was an 8-hour day.
Really?
Of just reading like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it done. Have you had any?
So I've had cold reads. Memorizing is a strong suit when I'm alone. So like if you gave me 3 papers right now and I went and sat in that room by myself, I would get it done in 15 minutes. When I'm around other people and there's other people trying to memorize it, I can't focus. Or even like if like other people were in the room, like 3 other people, I couldn't do it for some reason. I have to be like alone, like, and say like it takes me a while though. Like I have to say the line out loud and then do it over and over and over and over, and it's just kind of difficult. But when I'm alone, I could do it. But like in cold reads, I've had a cold read before, and I still get it done. I still get the job done, but it's just like more difficult, more stress.
The pressure's on.
Yes.
Do you have it where whenever you have to go off book on something, do you write your lines down?
No.
Or do you just immediately memorize it?
I don't. A lot of people do like where they put the paper and then do like line by line, or people will write the lines down. I just look at so if it's my line and then the next person's line and my line, I'll just look at that line. So if it's like, please don't go there, then I'm like, please don't go there, please don't go there. Then the next line is like, okay, stop, please don't go there. Okay, like I don't know, but obviously it's longer monologues. Yeah. Monologues are harder for me to memorize because there's no other person's talking after me.
You don't have a pause in between.
Right, so it's like I have to memorize 2 lines. Like I'll memorize until a period, then I memorize that, then memorize to the next period, like like a period, and then I memorize those 2 periods, and then memorize the next period. It just kind of takes me a minute.
There was a trick that I heard from this one podcast called Smartless, where it's Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. So it's all 3 of them, and they're big time actors, and they talked about their memorizing skills. And Jason he has a trick where if you have a lot of dialogue, and it's a paragraph about this long, and like how you said, people write things out and do that, instead of writing the entire thing out, you take the first letter of each word and just write it down as it goes along.
Yeah.
So it makes it so you're memorizing it because you're just writing the letter, and you're like, there was something I needed to do. And, and that's an interesting technique that I've actually found works for me. It looks terrifying if you open my book and you see what is happening here,
What do you do? So is that the technique you do?
That's what I do now, because I found that it helps me a lot because my memory is garbage. So it helps me a lot because then I'll write things down, and then as I'm going through, I'm like, I'm missing a letter here. Oh, it's supposed to be this. It helps out a lot because after you've done it so many times, then it jogs your memory again. And a lot of the times I like to know what the end word is for the person I'm doing the scene with.
Right.
So if I'm doing a scene with somebody, I like to know what their last word is.
Oh, okay.
Like if it's just doing an audition or something.
I do that too. Yep.
You know, so you know it's coming up.
Yes, I do that too. What I'll do also if I have someone with me, well, okay, this is for if you don't have anybody with you and you want help with like reading lines.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a minute, but I basically read all the other person's lines. Like if it was like, hello, how are you doing? And then that was my line. The other person's line is, I'm good, how are you? So then I would like video and I'm like, I'm good, how are you? Pause, wait for my line to speak. Okay, that's cool. And then play the video and then go off on memory and then like you get what I'm saying, but I don't know how to explain it. But basically like I would video the other character being me and then I would just go and then press the video as I'm going and make sure I'm leaving time on the video for me to respond.
That makes sense.
If you don't have anyone with you for practicing.
Have you seen another movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the most recent?
Yes, I have seen that.
So that's what Leonardo DiCaprio's character does too.
Yeah.
He has that tape recorder that is saying the other person's lines.
Yes, I remember that.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing an audition by yourself, it's tough. Especially when there has to be a lot of back and forth. So if you have yourself doing a funny voice or something in between, then that can definitely help you out a little bit.
For self-tapes, though, I always recommend having a reader. Find someone, because it just kind of would be like a little bit off.
I've had it where I've done auditions and my stepdaughter, I'll have her read with me because I'm like, hey, I need a kid to come and read with me. Take this. She goes, okay. And she likes to do acting and stuff too, so she'll start to get into it, and it makes it so much more helpful because if I ask my wife, she's like, no, I don't want to be on it. Don't do that to me. Every time.
My boyfriend always helps me. He'll like stay up. Sometimes I'll have him stay up till like 2 a.m. practice. I'm like, I have to get this done. Whenever you did the cold read for the paragraphs, what did you do? What was your method for that moment?
Usually what I would do is I would focus on a word. So if I'd have to sit there and memorize a nice little chunk, I would go through it, try to see as much as I could do, and then find certain buzzwords that are in the paragraph, and then just remember that's coming up. So I would read it multiple times, and then I would go, okay, and then remember about security. And then I'd emphasize like security or something, so it stays in my head a little bit more. So that helped me out, but it was 8-hour day, and they got us Costco pizza. And that was it. I didn't get paid for that.
Oh no, it was just the audition?
No.
Oh.
It was the full thing. They came down and they even said...
Wait, so you already got cast, is what you're saying?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were just talking about an audition. I was like, okay, yeah, I can see
Nope.
what... Oh my gosh, you already got cast!
I have the
What?
They doubled it as like a voiceover and everything too. And it was just one, hey, we'd like you to be a part of it. Great. I'll come down and do it. And they got cold Costco pizza.
Cold?
Cold.
It's cold.
And that was all I had for
no.
the entire day. I got to hang out in Sacramento for the day, so that was
I guess still experience, but...
something. Yeah, but I have this story to come back on because you got to do what you got to do. You know, have you had any tough auditions like that? Or even tough roles where maybe something isn't working out for you?
Well, when I was first started out, there was a couple of times when I learned some things through the way. There was an audition where I had gum in my mouth. Never have gum in your mouth as an actor. And immediately got in the room and they're like, do you have gum in your mouth? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, spit it out. And then it just automatically bad. Yeah. And then there was another one where I was also just starting on acting and I was super nervous and I came to the audition and like it was over Zoom. And then the girl was like, okay. And I like just started going and then she was like, oh, what's your name? I was like, oh, my name is Grace. And then I like got out of the audition and then Justina was all like, oh, just let you know say your first and last name because we just had a Grace in here. Yeah. And just like when I get nervous, sometimes I'll completely forget. But now auditions, like before I used to like, when I'd go into audition, I used to think that the people auditioning me were people, like they were like way higher than me or something, and I'd be so nervous. But now I'm just trying to think like they're just people, they're just like me, we're just doing the same thing.
You're just having a conversation.
Yes, we're just like I do that a lot actually. Like I'll always go into places and just be so nervous where it makes me look so bad because I'm so nervous. So I have to like sit in the car and be like, they're just like me. We're doing the same thing here. They're just auditioning me. Don't be awkward. Yeah.
Have you had those ones where it's kind of kind of like a cattle call where there's a bunch of different people that are there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different parts that you're auditioning for, and you audition for multiple roles. And when you're going for one role, they bring you back in to read for a different role.
Yes.
Because I've had that happen where I auditioned for something. They had me play a dad in like 3 different auditions where the kids came in, and then I was the dad for each of them. Have you had ones like that?
So I actually had an audition like that. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, but I'll just kind of like brief on it. There was like, they said that they might have you read for multiple characters, so I memorized all the characters that I thought I was going to read for all the girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to or they like named who they want you to audition for. So they like named 3 characters that they wanted me to audition for. So I memorized all those 3 characters' roles, and then I came in and they wanted me to audition for a completely different character.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but it was okay. I still did good, and I got the part anyway. So
good.
Yes,
that's great.
It worked out. But I was just like nervous. Always cold reads get me. I'm just like, okay, I got this, because cold reads are nerve-wracking.
Where they throw the curveball at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now you have to say all of this.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just gonna look over it. And then we were out loud to have like the paper with us, so it was fine.
You didn't have to be off book for that. That's good.
But I tried to like not look at the paper as much.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, but then a lot of the times you kind of notice too, it's like they know if you just got it.
Yeah.
So they're a little more accepting if you have to glance down at it.
Yeah.
Or if like, you say the too many times, or like you miss, instead of, oh, we have to go through, and then you say, well, it's like, we have to go there, or they kind of give you a little bit of leeway on that. At least I've found.
Also, what I think is cool, that I've worked with some production teams like Madwife and Sequel Productions. I've worked with him as well. Do you know Sequel Productions? He's Matthew.
Bonita?
Yeah.
I've seen the name. I don't know him personally.
Well, I always thought, this is also another thing that I thought before becoming an actor, that like every word had to be correct, like when going onto set. I always kind of thought that, and maybe that's the way it is in LA, but the production teams that I've worked with, they're like, if that word doesn't come out of your mouth properly, like we could change it for you.
Yeah.
And like they're super nice about things like that, which I think is cool. Like if you miss a word, it's fine. Yeah,
they're not going to get all up in arms.
Yeah, I do have a question though about filmmaking. If you know how like when you watch movies or Netflix shows, then you put the subtitles on, and the subtitles always match to what the actors are saying. Is the subtitles? How do subtitles get in there? How is that even happening? Do they?
From what I know, is that it comes from like an editing team.
Okay.
So they can put captions on there, so they have the film, and then they go through it and they can type everything in.
Okay, see, because that's what I was thinking. But then, what if an actor misses a word? Because like Eve's always right, and it's like there's no way these actors are not.
See, I don't know if you've seen it too, because there have been times, because we leave the subtitles on at home. There will be times where the actor says, and it's supposed to be however or something. And on the subtitles, it says something different.
Okay.
So it's a lot of the times it's people going through it and watching it and typing things out.
Oh.
So they can go from either they upload like the script or something like that.
Thinking, yeah.
And then somebody goes in and like manually does it.
Okay.
And then
I see.
It comes like that.
I was thinking like at first I was thinking they put the script in, but now I'm kind of thinking that maybe they do it manually, because I was like, there's no way that these actors have every word right every time. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, especially a lot of the times, too, there's movies or TV shows where they improvise.
Yeah, that's true.
So somebody has to come in and write things down, not just in parentheses, so-and-so is improvising now.
Right.
We don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Somebody write this down for me, please.
Yeah.
So the other one you had is like getting into podcasting. Is that something that interests you as well?
I've done a couple of podcasts with Sequel Productions with Matthew, not on camera, just like off camera podcasts. Yeah. But I like talking. So, but what got you into podcasting?
I listened to a lot of different ones, and my favorite thing when I'm listening to some different one, a lot of the times it's like comedy podcasts that I listen to, like comedians and stuff. But a lot of the times I like stories from actors, because it motivates me a little bit. Because if I hear an actor's story where you can hear, like Harrison Ford, who played Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
When he got started, he didn't get started till he was like 35, and he was a carpenter.
That's so good to know. I was just talking to my boyfriend about how I was like, I forgot what the exact words were, but I was like talking about how I feel like any actor who got like really big and famous started at a really, really young age. So I kind of feel like I have a step down since I didn't start at like 8 or 9. And then he was trying to name actors and was like, no, that person made it at like 9. And then, but yeah, you're right. Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, he got inspiration. Han Solo when he was in his 30s.
Did he do any work before that?
No.
No
not
way.
Really. No, he may have done like little things here and there, or have you ever seen Parks and Rec or
I don't think so.
The Last of Us?
I've seen The Last of Us, yes.
You know, I can't remember their character names, but the gay couple that's in the middle, where they have their own bunker, and it kind of focuses on their stories.
Wait, is Last of Us about zombies?
Yes. Where it's got Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I think so, but
out of the two, one of the guys, Nick Offerman, his story was the same, where he wanted to kind of get into acting but didn't do a whole lot, and then he didn't get his big break until he was in his 30s because he was also a carpenter, and he was helping make set designs, and then one day while he was helping on some play or something, they needed somebody to come in, and he was like, I know all the lines, I can come in and do it for you. And then they let him be on the plays, and then he got Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, and he just started snowballing from there. That's awesome. It gives myself motivation too, because I just turned 30 in October, so
you look good for your age. I would guess like 25 or 26.
You know,
26,
I constantly get the
really?
opposite. I haven't
the opposite, that you look older?
I haven't looked younger than myself since I was in my like teen years.
Oh.
Everybody has always guessed much older.
Has it been people that knew you when you were younger?
No.
Or strangers?
Yeah, mostly strangers.
Oh. Yeah, I would have guessed like 26 or maybe like 27.
Yeah, I think I've gotten people saying that I've been 29 or 30 since I was 21.
Oh.
So I've always, everyone's always guessed older. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
My back has always hurt. I'm 30 enough, I guess. Yeah. But that gives me that own motivation. So it's what kind of wanted me to, or kind of like helped push me to start a podcast, so that I like hearing stories from people that are either established in what they're doing, or they are currently in the field trying to get better and trying to go forward, and they've done a couple of things, and then it helps motivate other people that hear the story, or somebody could listen to it and be like, you know, I like what they're doing here. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they want it, because it's all networking. Yeah. You know?
That's true too. This is a really great way to network as well.
Yeah, because I'll just reach out to people that I have seen or that are doing anything, and then I'm like, hey, do you want to come on and we'll talk about your story, and then go from there. Yeah. You know, and then other people might see it and then be inspired and then be like, hey, I've got a story to tell, or something like that, and then it's just fun because I get to sit here and talk. And normally when we're above age, we have a couple of drinks and stuff, you know, and
almost
just kind of hang out. Yeah.
A few more months.
But it's okay. We just kind of sit and chat, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm waiting for it because I have the story too where I want my Big Fish, where it's like Jeremy Renner lives, you know, in like Tahoe. Steve Austin lives in Gardnerville. Yep. The guy who voices Goofy lives in town.
No way, in Reno?
Bill Farmer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
He voices Goofy now, and he helps with the Cordillera Film Festival.
Have you tried reaching out to any of them to be on your podcast?
I have. You know, it's
I know how it goes. Yes,
I've sent it out, or like John Stamos comes to Lake Tahoe all the time. Like, there's a lot of different people where it's like, I'd like to have these really big names come on, and then we can kind of just talk and hang out. Yeah, and then I get also a lot of the local people, so it helps kind of everybody. Yeah. So,
do you ever want to like change your genre of podcasting? Like, would you ever want to do like comedic, like, I don't know, like a different type of podcast?
I'm not open to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's mainly what I know, but it's not, I'm no comedian, you know? So it's just kind of having different people come in, and then we talk. So I don't, like, if there was a way to add video clips or something that could be a different thing, or if, you know, like you have a producer while we're trying to figure out that thing that Jim Carrey had done.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, it's actually this. That's still racking my brain right now.
I know. I would have to look up a photo. Should I look up a photo real quick?
I've got the IMDb. Let's pay no attention to what's happening here, folks. We have to figure this out because it's driving.
Unless it wasn't Jim Carrey, but I'm almost positive it was.
Why are you being stupid?
Let's see.
With... Oh, The Mask.
The Mask!
There we go.
Yes!
I hate myself right now. It's The Mask.
The Mask, yeah. It's okay. I would have never known.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
No, but what is that his character's name? The Mask?
Pretty much.
Okay, yeah.
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 It's the movie The Mask where he puts that mask on and then he turns into that crazy cartoonish guy.
That's what I was talking about. Darn it, I should have said he put the mask on, but I completely forgot about that. Anyways.
I'm so disappointed.
I don't even remember why I was...
I don't know how I got there, but I know that it was in my brain. Because we were talking the serious roles.
Yes.
And then it's him still being goofy, but it's also kind of a serious role. And that was actually Cameron Diaz's first feature film.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was the one that helped catapult her.
Yeah.
And you never know what can happen.
Right.
So on kind of that note, to sort of wrap up a little bit here, what is next for you that you can talk about? Or do you have any projects coming out that you can talk about? Do you have anything that you're kind of pursuing more? Sort of the vague question of like what's next for you.
So there is something that is coming out that I'm on set currently. I just got off a set on Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll be on set next week. But I had to sign an NDA, so I'm not really allowed to disclose it.
Yeah.
But when it comes out, it'll be all over my social media, so everyone could find it. And then I think I'm just going to start pursuing modeling a little bit more too. I kind of like acting just because I've just always been more passionate about it. I'm kind of sometimes like insecure with modeling a little bit, but I book so many jobs with modeling, and I feel like it's just a little bit more simpler, you know? I just like send a headshot, they're like, yeah, we got you, come run, come walk, come whatever. But I kind of like photo shoots more than runway. I'm not too confident with runway yet. That's why I want to start taking the modeling classes to get more confident with that. Okay. But photo shoots I could do all day. I love getting pictures taken.
That's what I was going to ask. What sort of lane did you prefer?
Yeah,
it's
so
more of the photo shoot.
Right now it's photo shoot. I had so much fun walking in Idols and Icon. I just want to be more confident. Like I just don't think my walk is perfected yet, and I'm just too nervous where it makes it unfun because I'm just beating down on myself. Yeah. But photo shoots I love, and I love how all the photos always turn out. So yeah. But eventually I do want to do more runway, but always acting. Like I always want to, basically acting, modeling. Eventually put those together and make it my full-time job.
Yeah, that's the goal for I think everybody that comes in for being an actor or a model, where it's like if I can get constantly paid and it pays rent, I'm happy. Yeah. Because that's how I feel too. It's like if a modeling thing comes up, that's great, but it's how I always feel. I never consider myself a model. I'm just okay with getting in front of the camera. Right. That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. You know? I guess when I tell people like I'm a model, I'm not, like when I say that word, because you know, like models is like beautiful, gorgeous, like high standards. When I say I don't know what I think, but when I say actor, like, no, I'm an actor, like really, I'm an actor like that. But when I say I'm a model, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just a model. Yeah, you get that little humbleness that comes in. I'm just not too like confident with modeling yet, but hopefully I'll get there because I know that it's something that I'm also good at. So yeah, so that helps out. Well, Grace, thank you for coming in. Thank you for having me. Kind of talking everything. Before we do get you out of here, go ahead and promote your socials, where you want everybody to find you one more time. Okay, yes. So my Instagram is grace.wintersxoxo. My Facebook is Grace Winters. And then my Snapchat is Grace Winters 150. And that's all my social medias. Or you can just find me on TikTok too, at Grace Winters. But I don't post anything on there. Easiest thing. Yeah. It'll all be right. Yes. Well, Grace, once again, thank you for coming in. You guys know what to do. Stephen Longley for me, Longley's Line for the show, Lightstyles Studio for our studio here. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys. Cool.